guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to episode 16 of the Bali United Save, and today it is a transfer special. We're going to play through the summer, play through the off-season, and look to build a team to go a little bit better than we did last season, which is going to be tough considering we won the league. 4 points in the end we won it by. PS Tira dropping points on the final day. And of course we should have been in the Indonesian Cup final, but the game kind of messed up a little bit there and put the semi-final losers into the final, which was disappointing to say the least. So what are we going to do this off-season? My plan... Well, let's have a quick look at the state of the club first. See, I think stadium-wise we're fine. 23,000 essentially seat a stadium. That's fine. Happy with that. Facilities we could do with upgrading those. Now, we haven't had a youth intake, which is troubling. I'm not sure maybe first season if it doesn't quite happen, given that you sort of start in January of 2018, which is kind of before the game starts properly in Europe. So maybe that's why we haven't had a youth intake. I'm hoping that's the reason why, because otherwise it's... We need our youth, don't we? But you can see training facilities aren't great, but they could be a lot worse. If we look at finances, we don't really have money to invest in facilities, so that's fine. We should get money. We should get sponsorship money, season ticket money, and all that sort of coming in through the summer. So that's all. That should all be well and good. But I think the main thing, what we want to do, if we go back to the league table here, what was I think telling is our goal difference, and not the fact that it was 26. But the fact that we conceded, how many goals did we concede last season? 52 goals we conceded last season. That's too many. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. So we need to be fixing up our defense a little bit. What I'm thinking that I think it's the coaching as much as anything. We've seen that the players that we have are good enough to win basically everything we've been in. We'll never know if we would have won the Indonesian Cup. But I do think we just need a better quality of coach. And we need more coaches as well. So that's going to be my main... Not my main. I'm going to try and strengthen the playing squad as well. But I do think one of the main things we need to do here, if we can actually speak to the board, can we get more coaches, please, Mr. Chairman? Perfect. So that helps a little bit. We can see we've got a lot of money to spend on wages right now. We're spending 30 grand a week. We can triple that. So that's not a problem. We have money in the bank as well to spend on transfers. But to be honest, that no one's coming for the transfer budget doesn't really matter to a sense, because you're not going to be signing players for big money really anyway. So that's kind of where we're at. We did sort of go through the squad last season, this last episode, sorry, if you want to go back and have a look at that, see how everybody did. I just think defensively we need to strengthen. Elsewhere, I don't think we're too bad, to be honest, especially at the level that we're at. If we can improve, then obviously we will look to do so. If we're going to try and get into the Champions League group stage, we're going to need some star players. I don't think any of our foreign players right now are completely safe, to be honest. So that would be who we're talking about. They were talking about, where is he here? Pacheco. I think Pacheco is almost certainly not safe because we already have a better who should be available for this season. Demerson is already better as a foreign player, so Pacheco is almost certainly going to leave. Our other foreign players, of course, were Nuri, who did really well last year, and he's probably safe. I don't know if we'll be able to get anything better than him, but we'll certainly have a look and see what's available. Melvin, Paulo Sergio as well, actually, is foreign. He's gonna fade quickly. He was a wonderful player for us last year. Unlucky not to be player of the season, in my opinion. 15 goals, 7 assists. But again, I just wonder, physically, if we can get someone, we might be able to get someone a little bit better. So we'll have a look. And the other one is Melvin, who was the player of the season. Again, I don't know if we'll get anything better than him, but we'll certainly have a look around. We could even look to repurpose him as more of a striker than a central midfielder, where we played him last year. But I think he does have good work rate and everything. I think there is a central midfielder in there for us. So that's kind of the plans. We'll come back when I have something to report. Hopefully some signings, hopefully some new coaches. I won't bore you with the new coaches. We'll just have a look at it at the end. So let's hope there's a busy summer ahead. Okay, breaking news, and lots of it. We have 3 signings to announce, which is really, really good stuff. Now, my initial plan was to go after the best Indonesian players we can, and then sort of see where the gaps are and look for the best foreign players in those positions. So, first up, it is Ricky Pora. You can see here we've signed him. Where's the contract? So 65,000. You can see all the little add-ons there. Potentially, I think it potentially rises up to 150. These guys all officially joined. You can see they're January 29th. So that's going to be, it's about a month away. We're Christmas Day right now. So I'm hoping before the Asian Champions League qualifiers start, these guys should all have joined us. You can see there we're paying him £750 a week. He's happy to be a backup. He's a winger. He's 29, so he's not necessarily one for the future, but he can pretty much play anywhere down this left-hand side, which obviously appealed. I think we can probably get him sort of a higher up winger, an attacking winger, as opposed to sort of a more deeper winger. Basically decent. It's just decent, isn't it? Just good, solid all around. Good mentally, good physically, good dribbling, decent crossing. He will just be a backup option down the left, basically anywhere down the left. I think we could just about make a left back out of him as well. He's got good composure, decision making, concentration. Positioning is a little bit weak, but it's not too bad. He can pass. I just think he's going to be a good, solid option up and down that left-hand side. So really, he wasn't too expensive, which is really good. Next up, we have a centre-back, Rudolf Banza. 100,000 we're paying for him up front, and then add-ons take it up to about what's that going to be, 240 or so. Now, he's on a little bit of a chunk of change. He's on 2.2 grand a week. A centre-back, we're signing him from a Thai club. He is Indonesian. He's 23, so he's a decent enough age. His jumping reach is a slight concern, but everything else there, the scouts loved him. 70 for us is that's a scout loving somebody. I just think he's a good, solid centre-back. He's Indonesian, which obviously helps because it means that's sort of one less foreign slot we have to fill in there. I think next to Kayo as an Indonesian duo, obviously Demerson can fit in there as well. But just good, has the sort of main defensive stats that you want. Composure could be a little bit better, to be honest, but anticipation's good. He's not the quickest. He's not necessarily the best, but I think everything else will make up for it. So that's Rudolf Banza, and again, we've had to pay him big wages to get him in out of Thailand, but I think he basically was the best Indonesian defender our scouts could find. And the other one that we've signed is Evan Dimas. Now, I did say, I think it was the end of last episode, I wanted to try and sign this guy. We've done just that, 70 grand, which I think is an absolute steal. And you can see the add-ons there as well. He's on 1.5 grand a week. But he is a really, really good central midfield option. Tackling is probably his weak point, but he can pass. He's got good vision, good leadership as well. So potential, I think we're going to change our leadership as well. I don't think Nuri's going to keep going as captain. And Dimas will very much come into consideration there. He's only 23 as well, so he's a really good age moving forward. Just mentally really, really good. I'm really, really happy with those three signings. We do have one on the out. Where is it here? This guy here. One of our backup right wingers. So we've got 19 grand for him. We're paying £300 a week of his wages moving forward, which is a little bit annoying considering it's pretty much his whole wages. But it gets him out of the club. We weren't going to use him. We have lots of wide options, especially on the right with Maliafeni, Hariadi, Paulo Sergio if he stays. So we were never going to use him. So we get a bit of cash in. And that is all well and good. So that's it for now. I'll be back when we have something else to announce. Foreign players will hopefully be coming in soon. Okay, a little bit to catch you up on here just in terms of contract renewals. Now, these guys all had, this was upcoming season was their last year, so we've extended them all. It's Hariadi, it's Letsinen, it is Kayo, it is Lillipali. You can see their wages and everything there, just the usual bonuses. Adsit, we're going to keep him because he's supposed to be good. Spasajevic as well. You can see we do have a player in the Asian Cup. Nuri's off to represent Iraq in that. And a couple of outs just to keep you updated on here. Byun Gun, whatever his name is, his contract was up. He's gone back to South Korea to play, which is fine. He's got a nice little pay rise there as well, so good on him. And in terms of players that we have released from their contracts, Tan has left. A little bit of a disappointment maybe. He should have been better potentially, but he never played well and he was unhappy, so we just let him go. Bete, who was a left back we never used. One of the strikers that we never used, and also Andika, our sort of emergency right back. We have better options there now, so I don't think we're going to be needing him. So those guys have all been released and left the club, and obviously Hamdi will be leaving as well at the end of when the transfer window opens. He's already set up a transfer to a new club. But that is everything. You've caught up on everything as it stands right now. It's January 4th. We're still scouting. We're still looking for other players. I'll give you a quick look at my shortlist here. That guy looks decent from Borneo. We'll add you to shortlist. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you can see. I mean, hang on. This is it. Just Indonesian players. So I was looking for the best Indonesian players that we could. there's options there for us. Hudson is one I'm really looking at. He's basically the same position as Nuri. I'm not convinced that he's better than Nuri right now, though. Potentially, I mean, obviously, there's a chance that he will be, but I don't think he's quite there yet. He's more of a defensive midfielder. He could work in there because we do play that position, don't we? So he could work. It's just a matter of where else, who would we get rid of, basically. Mark Kluk is another one. He's already in the league. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He can play in that defensive role as well. He's arguably probably better than the Brazilian. But again, it's a foreign player. I think he's still a foreign player. I don't think he's been naturalized. Yeah, he's still a ways away. Oh, that's Bulgaria. He's nowhere near being naturalized yet. Oh, no, he is. He could be naturalized. Okay, so we'll keep a very, very close eye on him because that's what he needs for eligibility. He's there. Essentially, he's done it. That could be a really, really interesting signing for us. How long has he been in Indonesia for? He must have been there for 2 seasons. That's all it takes. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on him because that would be a very good Indonesian player to buy. Okay, we have our commercial summary for the season. Which unfortunately, we don't have the shirt sales, which is always my favourite part. But we'll have a look anyway. We have 14 new deals at $1.5 million a year, which is good. A 3-year deal with a financial services company. Sponsorship was up on nothing, which is good. Corporate hospitality was up. You can see match day, everything was up because there's nothing to compare it to, basically. If we have a look at what that does for the finances, we're sitting at literally like a couple of $100 under, £100 under $2 million, which is really, really good situation to be in. Makes me tempted to look for upgrades and facilities, but I don't think we're quite there yet. We did lose quite a bit of money last year. If we didn't get that mill in for winning the Confederation Cup, we would have been a little bit of a hole there. You'll see our scouting there. We're just scouting Indonesia. I might look to upgrade that. What are our budgets looking like? £53,000 a week, so they've almost halved our wage budget. Our transfer budget stays roughly the same. So there we go. That is the finances of the club. Finances are looking good. We're still looking for players. Alright, more breaking news, and it's another signing, and I'm really, really excited about this one. It's another Indonesian, Hamisu Yamara. I think that's how Yama. I'm not quite sure how you would say that. We've only paid $35.5 thousand for him. You can see their appearances, minimum league goals, and winning the Champions League will pay off a little bit more. He's on £600 a week, which is an absolute steal when you see what we've got here. It's a centre-back. It's a ball-playing centre-back. Can you believe we found one of those? Again, jumping reach isn't the best, but everything else there physically isn't too bad. Mentally, he has all the important attributes, doesn't he? Decisions, concentration, composure's not bad, bravery, anticipation, positioning's good, as I said. He can pass the ball. I'm really, really excited about this guy. He will slot in nicely next to, we've got obviously Demerson as our foreign player. And also, who's the other guy we signed? Sanzu, or whatever his name is, who looks like we've ridiculously overpaid for him now, having seen this guy. He's on 2.2 grand a week. But that gives us 3 really, really good centre-back options. I think we needed to strengthen defensively. I think we've just about done that. The one other person I'm looking at, and I really want to get him in, but he wants 8 grand a week, which is obviously well and truly beyond what we can afford. We've got him on trial right now. He's at a Belgian club. He's an Indonesian international. He's only 19. Potentially, he is an absolute star of the league. But the problem, as I said, it's that he wants 8 grand a week, and that is, we just can't afford that. When our wage budget was 97 grand a week, we could afford 4.5. It's going to be less than that now. So I don't know what to do. I'm going to wait till the transfer window opens. Just maybe see if we can get him back on loan, because the club didn't want that much for him. We can see, so 25,000 up front and a little bit of extras for 77 overall. So the club is clearly not that bothered on keeping him. It's a Belgian second division club. So I'm really, really hoping, I don't want to pay 4 grand a week, just basically in case he doesn't come off. He wanted 8 grand anyway. He wasn't going to accept the 4 grand a week. So, but physically, he could be a really good player for us. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get a deal done, which is unfortunate. But I'm hoping, as I said, we might be able to get him in on loan perhaps. But anyway, Yama's come in. I'm really excited about our defence for next season. But again, we'll keep looking. Okay, we have a Champions League update. We have drawn Munatong. They are a Thai team. If we have a quick look at what we're up against here, we don't know too much. A 17-year-old Thai right back. A Brazilian, it looks like, yes, a Brazilian striker centre forward, and another Brazilian striker centre forward. So that should be doable for us. Now, I think the big news here is that in the East, so the playoff draw to get into the group stage, we've drawn a South Korean team. Now, outside of, well, that is probably the best we could have hoped for, because otherwise there's a Chinese team or a Japanese team, and I just think they are just tougher. That's just sort of the reality of that. Now, again, they don't have too much here. We can see a Brazilian winger and a Brazilian striker. I mean, they're going to be decent and they're going to be tough, but I do think it gives us the best possible chance of getting through. So that's exciting. I'd say there's the best chance possible we will be able to get into the Champions League group stage. So makes me more excited, to be honest. Okay, guys, gather round. Welcome back to pre-season. I'm really excited to get this season underway. I'm expecting big things from us this year. Now, I apologize. We do have to hit the gym today, just get ourselves back into a little bit of shape. What's wrong with you guys? Why do you all look so miserable to be here? You feel like there's a lack of depth at goalkeeper. Okay, do we all feel this way? Okay, I understand. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do to make you all happy, get a smile on those dials. I'll sign us a new goalkeeper, okay? Alright, breaking news, and basically to keep the squad happy, because pretty much the entire squad came to me and said that they didn't think we had enough depth at goalkeeper, so I've spent £25,000 just to keep everybody happy, and I've signed another goalkeeper. This guy's happy to be back up. He will be back up to Remus, so potentially it could very much challenge him for that first team spot. Yeah, I mean, he's just here as a backup. He's decent, as I said. I think he'll do fine. We're paying him, what are we paying him? £400 a week, which is fine. Squad status backup. That just kind of is what it is. Now, there is one out to update you on as well, as we look to shrink the team down for the new season. Where is he here? Abdullah, just a backup centre-back. We've strengthened dramatically at centre-back this year. He was 25. He wasn't getting any better, so we sold him off. 25 grand, I think we ended up getting for him, which is pretty impressive, I think. Is there a way to tell what it was? I'm pretty sure it was 25 grand. There it is there, 25 grand, yeah. So good deal for us, money in the bank, wages out the door, and essentially job done there. Yeah, we'll keep going, see where we end up here. Oh, I can't believe I had to sign a goalkeeper just to please the players. I mean, what do they think this is, a bloody democracy? Oh, now what? Hello? Oh, hi Pacheco, what's up, mate? Right, look, I'm sorry that you feel forced out of the club, but the reason for that, just so you know, it's that I'm trying to force you out of the club. Yeah. Look, mate, if you're Indonesian, I'd be more than happy to keep you, but we do have foreign player limits, and my hands are tied. Mate, if you think it's racist, take it up with the Indonesian FA. They make the rules, mate, not me. So Pacheco is upset, but we have all our players. They've all arrived. It is now, the transfer window is opened. We'll have a quick look now that they've all joined the club. 100,000 we paid for this guy. He is 135 grand worth. Now you can see he's a 3.5 star player, which means there's obviously room for improvement there, potentially, hopefully. So that's good. We've got Banza in. We've also got in Yama. I'm really excited for this guy. Again, look at that. 3-star current ability. A little bit of room for improvement, though, at 24. Maybe we're not going to see that. But, again, a really good ball-playing defender, and only paying him £600 a week. I really did overpay for Banza, didn't I? Pora has joined us as well. 98 grand he is now worth. You can see he's pretty much playing at his potential. He's in here as a backup, and that is what it is for him. He'll play all down that left side for us, so I'm really happy to get him in. Dimas has joined us as well officially. He is now worth 98 grand. Again, you can see potentially a 4-star player at 23. We may not see that. He's just coming back from an injury, so he's not really available for us just yet, which is a little bit frustrating, but it just kind of is what it is, so we'll deal with that. We'll ease him back to fitness. Our backup goalkeeper is here. As I said, he may actually challenge Remus for the starting position, but he's just kind of there to hopefully he'll have made the other players happy. And of course, the guy that we signed a little while ago now, Puhiri, It says it's in the under-21s. He's just down there because we have a friendly against them coming up. So just to try and get him some match sharpness, you can see he's down there at 48%. So we already have, who do we have? Maliafeni and Harriati in the senior team looking for match fitness. So we'll get him in down there. He's going to be a really, really good, dangerous option off the bench, I think. That pace is just electric, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really glad we've got him in finally as well. So that is what it is that we're trying to get Pacheco out. Abdullah has officially left us as well, as has, I'm assuming this is going to be Hamdi. Oh no, that's the other right winger that we sold, so that's him out the door. Is this Hamdi? There's Hamdi there, he's gone, so that's fine. And player development fitness thing. The only issue that I have is that we've already had to register our squad for the Champions League. I'm hoping just that first tie, which means none of the new guys are going to be able to play the first playoff. I'm hoping the team we have is good enough, and it should be good enough, but it's not ideal. Okay, breaking news. We did get our man. We got him on loan, our young left back, for 12 months or so. We're paying him $2,000 a week now instead of 8, which is nice. Yeah, I think he could be a really important signing for us. We do struggle a little bit at left back. We have solid options, but not really good ones if we're going to sort of get into the Champions League and beyond. Well, not really beyond. I don't think we're going to win the Champions League, but a good young player. Potentially he could get better. I'm hoping, my long-term hope with this guy is that his contract is another 2 years in Belgium. He plays with us for 2 years. He realizes that it's not that bad, and then he signs on a permanent deal. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But if not, we've got a good left back for this season. So happy with that. We're getting towards the start of the Champions League qualifying, so there may not be anything else before that. Alright, it is game day in Champions League qualification, so let's have a look at the team that we have. Transfer window is still opened, but let's have a look at the team we have heading into the start of the season. Now up front, good options here, I think. Spasijevic, who was a little bit disappointing last year, but he's still a good player. Boaz, who is going to be an absolute star for us. Look at that, 32 and still improving. Batchton, who can do it, just doesn't always choose to. Let's go with that. His contract's up at the end of this year, so he needs to prove that we want him to stay at the club. Kayami, who we saw score some very important goals for us last season, and Senghara as well, is a decent enough option for us up there. And there's other guys that can do the job for us. If we're looking at players on the right, we know all about most of them here. We've got Paulo Sergio, who was a star for us last year. Harriati, who predominantly played on the left last year and will probably do the same this year, but is a very good option on the right. Maliafeni, well, we know all about him, don't we, from last season. He's an absolute star. One of our young guns, Pahiri, he's pacey, he can dribble, he can cross. I'm excited to see what he can do for us this season. And the other big option out there, and we saw him once or twice out there, is Eka Putra, who can do a job, can also play up front. He's another option up front as well. 19, we might even look to loan him out, but I think depending where we go in in Asia, there's probably enough games for him to get some game time. On the left, we know Paulo Sergio can play out there as well. He's an absolute star. Boaz can play out here, though perhaps we won't see too much of him. Just lacks dribbling and crossing. He's better in the middle. The new boy, Rizky Pora, is going to play out here as well. He's a good option. Harriati, we know, can play out here, and Kayami as well. Who's the other option out there that we do have? Oh, and the young gun, the pacey guy, can play left side as well, but again, he'll predominantly play right side. Assuming this is how we play, and I think this is how we will play, the sort of advanced attacking players, we know that we have Lily Pally, who can do that for us. Nuri, who can but probably won't. Melvin will be the one of the main guys there, and Batchton as well, who's should be able to do it based on his attributes, but doesn't really do a good job when he does play over there. We know Nuri will play over here along with Demas, one of the new boys, potentially very, very good deep line playmaker. Siswanto, who's a bit of a star himself. Tafiq, if he stays. I'm trying to sell Tafiq just because I don't think he's going to play too much, but last year he was very much sort of an afterthought. I think he ended up with 12 goals, so if he does stay, he'll be a good option. And Maluna Putra, he doesn't look much, but he did score some good goals for us last year. So those guys are there. In the halfback role, we know that Nuri can play there. The main two, I think, will be Seta Budi. Yama, one of the new boys, the centre-backs, can step forward. And I think Sasu will be another option there as well, because he's a good passer, good tackler, good anticipation. He's a good option back there, albeit he is 33. If we look at centre-backs, and this is where we've really strengthened. Demerson is available for us this year. So he goes in place of Pacheco. We know we just saw Yama. He's a really good option as well, I think. Kayo, one of our stars from last season, he'll drop out of favour a little bit this year with us having strength. Then Banza or Basno is another one that'll come in, another one of the new boys. Doki, good option back here. He's young still, 21, still improving. He's good enough, I think, to get some games. Farjan can, but he'll be predominantly used as a left back, and the other two there we'll see in other positions here. Left back, Andika. Really excited to get him, a young Indonesian left back on loan from Europe. I think he'll do a good job for us. The backups for him will be Farjan, who can play in the middle, but I think he'll mostly be played on the left. Angga Putra, who did a decent job for us last year. He's 29. I don't want to sell him because we only have Andika on loan, but I don't know how much he's going to play this year. And of course, Pora, we saw he's more of an attacking player, but he can step back and fill in here for us as well if needed. And then if we go over to the right, we have three good options. Adsit, if he stops giving away penalties, will be a very good player for us. The other options are Letsinen, who is a good option, especially as a backup. He's pacey and he can cross a ball, so I like that about him. And the other guy out here that can play there is Kayo. He'll do. As a third choice, he's decent enough. Goalkeeping, I mean, we maybe still lack a little bit of depth. The squad wasn't as happy as I thought they would be with the new boys, so we might have a problem. But it's just there are no good goalkeepers that are Indonesian. These are pretty much as good as it gets. Remus did well for us last year. The new boy, Raspata, he can improve a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. Hendronen, 36, last year of his contract. I doubt we'll see much of him. And the other guy here that's a backup, Indrayana, he's a decent enough option, but again, I don't know. He has an Indonesian cap, but I don't know how much we'll see of him. So that's the team. I wanted to strengthen defense, and I certainly think we've done that. I think we've had some really good defensive players. We've got a little bit more depth on the left wing now as well, which is good. I'm pretty happy with what we have. I don't want to go and sign foreign players for the sake of it when we have decent options in Paulo, Sergio, Melvin, and Yuri, and Demerson as well. So I'm thinking, especially Paulo Sergio's contract is up the end of this season. We'll keep him for this year and then see what happens. But I'm always scouting, looking for the foreign players. So if something comes up, we'll sign them. And as I said, transfer window's not closed yet. So let me know what you think in the comments of the team. We have to try and get into the Champions League group stage without the new team, without the new boys, because we had to register before they signed. I don't know why why didn't Indonesia just move their transfer date forward just like 2 days or 3 days, whatever it was, so that we could have registered them. I don't know. But last year's team has to get us into the group stage. We'll find out next time if we can do that. So until then, I've been Aussie. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.